Hi there, I'm Estelle Godlewski, an American girl who called the cornfields of Illinois home until over 10 years ago when I started navigating the chaos of life overseas. If you've ever felt that itch for something more, that whisper telling you to break free from the ordinary, you're in the right place. This podcast is your backstage pass to the wild ride of moving abroad. I'm here to pull back the curtain on the real journey, sharing stories that are funny, dramatic, and sometimes downright unbelievable. We'll explore the gritty details, from battling culture shock and navigating tricky visa processes to celebrating those small victories that make it all worth it. So whether you're daydreaming about a new life abroad or already in the thick of it, grab your passport and let's explore what it really means to live life beyond borders. Welcome to A Broadly Speaking. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to A Broadly Speaking. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name's Estelle, and this is the show where we unpack what it really takes to build a life abroad without losing your mind, your money, or your sense of humor. I hope you're ready. Today, I want to talk to you about something I didn't expect to connect to moving abroad at all, which is literally running a half marathon. And before you roll your eyes, no, this isn't one of you can do anything if you just believe in yourself pep talks. You know I don't believe in those. I'm talking about how a race I almost didn't sign up for taught me a thing about fear, pacing, and self-doubt than any visa application ever did. Because as it turns out, sometimes the limits we think are keeping us safe are the exact same ones that are actually keeping us stuck. So picture this. It's 2:00 in the afternoon, early autumn. It's colder than I expected. My playlist is absolutely not cooperating, and I'm standing in a crowd of people who all look way more prepared than I feel. I've had one goal that day, one goal, finish in under 3 hours. That's it. No fancy pacing strategy, no fancy adventures to get there. Just don't die and don't stop moving. The race starts, and for the first few miles, I'm in my head, watching people pass me, downing my pace, thinking, you don't belong here. You're not a real runner. What were you thinking signing up for this? But then somewhere around mile 6, something shifted. I'm still running. I'm not dying. My legs are a little bit sore, but they're still working. By mile 10, I realize I've got more left in me than I thought. So I push a little harder. And when I finally crossed that finish line, I checked my time. I made it in 2 hours and 34 minutes. And I swear for about 30 seconds, I was on top of the world. Then, because we can't ever let ourselves enjoy things for too long, my brain went, wait, if you could do this in 2 hours and 34 minutes, you could have done it in 2 hours and 29 minutes. It's only 5 minutes. Why didn't you start pushing earlier? Cue the existential facepalm. I hadn't been racing my body. I'd been racing my beliefs about what I could handle. The limit I set wasn't real. I just decided 3 hours sounded safe. So that moment stuck with me even to this day, a week after, or actually more than a week now after my race. It's been 10 days when I'm recording this since my race. And let me tell you, it keeps weighing heavily on my mind. Because if I was capable of more than I thought, and the only thing that stopped me was me, then where else in my life am I doing that? And instantly, my brain went back to moving abroad. How many times do we tell ourselves that we can't do something yet? We can't move until we have $20,000 saved. We can't start looking until the kids are older. We can't apply for visas until we're fluent in the language or until we have a job or until the political climate calms down or until it's the second Tuesday of next week. We build these invisible walls and call them realistic. We call it being practical, responsible, logical. But sometimes, honestly, it's just fear hiding behind different spreadsheets. We're so afraid of making the wrong move that we don't make any move at all, and we end up staying stuck. The truth is, it's rarely the visa that's holding you back. It's the self-imposed speed limit, the belief that you're not ready to go faster yet, that you're not ready to do the thing yet. I think we've all gotten really good at branding fear as logic. We say, oh, I'm just being cautious, or, oh, I just need to do a little more research, or, oh, I just want to be sure before I make such a big decision. But often what we mean behind that is really just, I'm scared. And that's totally normal. That's totally okay. Fear is not a flaw. It's just data. It's your brain saying, hey, honey, listen up. This really matters. But staying inside the lines because you think stepping out will break everything, that's how you end up running your entire life at half pace. I didn't realize how much I'd internalized until that race. I played it safe so I wouldn't fail. And in the process, I missed out on seeing what I was actually capable of. And I see that same thing in people planning their move abroad and trying to do their move abroad, right? They could start the paperwork, they could look for jobs, they could start decluttering or selling or saving or doing something, but they don't. Because if they never start, they never have the possibility of failing. But that safety, that comes at a cost. You end up living in limbo, not here, not there, just waiting for perfect. So here's what the race taught me. You don't suddenly wake up one day ready to go faster. You decide to. And that's how it works with moving abroad, too. You don't wake up one morning and feel magically prepared. You wake up one morning and think, fuck this, I'm tired of waiting. And you start. You take one small step. Maybe that's researching a country or budgeting or just deciding this is happening. Or maybe it's grabbing your birth certificate or your marriage license or something. And before you know it, you're halfway through your own race, realizing the hardest part wasn't the distance. It was convincing yourself to start in the first place. So if you've been waiting for some magical sign again, here it is. You're more than ready than you think. You don't need to feel fearless. You just need to move forward anyway. Because that limit that you're feeling right now, that thing that's telling you're afraid or you can't do this or it's too much or I just need to save until the number is this. You're going to move that goalpost until you decide to start. You're going to keep moving the goalpost farther and farther and back. And you're going to be disappointed in yourself every time because at some point you're going to go, what the actual fuck was I waiting for? Why did I wait so long to do this one thing that I could have started a long time ago and I would have already been abroad? You're going to look back in 2025 at the end of this year and go, man, I coulda, I shoulda. Or you're going to look back at the end of 2026 and do the same thing, right? If you're listening right now, this is going to come out sometime near the end of the year. It'll come out actually probably in the first week of November. And you're going to listen to this and you're going to go, dude, I missed a whole year. And you're going to probably want to wallow in that year and wallow in that belief that you could have done something better, that you should have done something better, that this thing could have been better if you would have done it sooner. And to be fair, you're right. But that is the motivation to go faster. That's the motivation to look at your watch and see, dude, I could make this in 2.5 hours almost. I should go faster and then do it. Start now so that in the end of 2026, you're not looking back and going, shit, I should have started in 2025. I could have been abroad by now. Waiting and hoping and looking for a sign that's never going to come is not real. The limits you're setting upon yourself are not real. They're imaginary things that are slowing you down. They're roadblocks that are preventing you from living the life that you want. Just like me in that race, had I looked at my watch a little bit sooner, had I listened to the podcast a little bit shorter, had I done this one thing a little bit differently, then I coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? Coulda, shoulda, woulda. That's what my mom used to tell me when I was a kid. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Yeah, I could have run the race faster. I should have started sooner and I would have finished in 2.5 hours. But you know what? At least I ran the race. At least I got to the finish line. And yes, I moved the goalpost and I was disappointed in myself for not doing better, but damn it, I finished the race. And you know what? You're going to finish the race too if you just start. If you just stop waiting for someone to tell you to start and just do it. Do it scared, do it hard, do it with less money than you'd like to have. Do it while your kids are still in school. Do it while your house is on the market. Do it while you have too much shit to move abroad. Just do it. That's what I've been thinking about since I hit that finish line. I set a goal and I hit it. And I immediately wondered why I hadn't aimed higher. It wasn't about the numbers. It was about realizing that I'd spent a lot of time underestimating myself in places that mattered. And I don't want that to be the story anymore, for me or for you. So if you've been waiting for the right time to start your own version of a half marathon, whether that's applying for your visa or building your savings or finally saying out loud, I want to move abroad, whether it's talking to your partner and giving them the actual answer that I can't do this anymore, I want to leave the country, consider this right now your permission slip. Start running. Honestly, you might even surprise yourself. All right, my friend, that's it for today's episode of A Broadly Speaking. If you liked this one, please share it with a friend who's still waiting for the right time to move. We all have one. And if that's you, listen to this one on repeat until you know that you can do this for yourself. And if you've got your own story about realizing your limits weren't limits at all, I'd love to hear about it. Send me a message over on Instagram. I'd love to know what your finish line is and what you're aiming for your move abroad. I also have a brand new free resource that I'm just releasing this week that is a 20-item checklist for the things to get you started on your move abroad. It's broken down by month, so you know exactly what you need to do from 1 year out all the way up to basically the day that you move to make it all easier for you. You can either DM me on Instagram, just send me the word checklist and I'll know what you mean and I'll send it over to you. Or you can grab the link below. I made a fun little quiz to have it not be so boring and getting freebies because I think quizzes are fun. So I'll drop that link for you. And then if you have any questions, as always, just reach out to me. All right, my friend, until next time, keep going because the only thing between you and your next chapter might just be a story you're telling yourself. And that one isn't the truth. All right, I'll see you on the next episode. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to A Broadly Speaking. If today's episode got you dreaming a little bigger or thinking a little braver, go ahead and hit subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who's ready for their own adventure. And hey, don't be a stranger. Come hang out with me over on Instagram at @IamEstelle for the real, unfiltered life abroad. Keep that passport handy, and remember, life's too short to stay in one place.